What's up, sir? Let me get my hair right for y'all.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Sarah Stevenson Tuesday Morning Forum.
Good morning. Hi.
All right. Good morning. I am Gary Young, facilitator, along with other facilitators, Ms. Laura McClady, Ms. Carlina Ivory Canty, Ms. Jackie Edwards Walton, Ms. Natalie McElrath, our timekeeper, Mr. Winston Robinson, Mr. Steve Johnson, Mr. Shay Abdul, and Mr. Robert Collins. Mr. Robert Collins over there. Supposed to be my left-hand man. All right, now, our forum runs from 8:30 to 10 a.m. At 9:45, we will pause for announcements from the audience. Announcements can also be sent to Steve at S. Johnson at Tuesday Forum. Johnston at Tuesday Forum, Charlotte.org. We always begin with a prayer. Mr. Patton, let's come on up for us. Thank you, sir. All right.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This forum is always a big blessing for me each and every Tuesday, ever since I was encouraged to come. And I was just blessed earlier this morning, just a short time ago, by Sergeant Robbins that shared a story with me about the impact and importance of networking, being who you are, just being in a space where you have other people that can influence you and move you forward in your life and career. So I just wanted to share that I appreciate this forum and the facilitators that bring this about each and every Tuesday. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you for this opportunity once again just to be in your presence. We thank you for the gathering of the leadership that thought it not robbery to give of their time each and every Tuesday to come forward to present this great forum for us to come together, commune together as leaders, Lord. We're thankful for the minds that are gathered here, Lord, that are willing to share of their knowledge to particularly the young people that are continuing to come each and every week, Lord, that we may have an opportunity to pour into them and share our growth and our walk and our steps so that they can continue in the same fashion, Lord. Lord, we ask that you just continue to bless everyone that's a part of this great, great program, Lord. We ask that you bless the facilitators, the R Plus that's here this morning to share information. And Lord, we ask that you just continue to be with us as we go into this Advent season. We will be mindful of those that are less fortunate. These and other blessings we ask in your precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. All right. We'd like to have, as Brother Winston Robinson likes to say, a moment of silence. Everyone silence your phones and watches for those that is applicable. Trust me, I forget that part too. Do we have any first timers this morning? Those? Yes, ma'am. Please. You want to stand up? No. More than just raise your hand. You need to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jataya. I'm the founder of Sister Magazine. It's a startup in Charlotte to promote Black womanhood and the common woman story.
How did we get that magazine? Oops, sorry.
It's okay. I have a flyer that I can give you.
Oh, they want to announce it, so everybody.
You can visit www.sistamagazine.com and you can join us.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Deja Austin, and I am the clinical supervisor for a program here in Charlotte called Village Heartbeat. So we assist individuals who are in need of services. We focus on all the social determinants of health, and we help connect people to mental health services. We offer up to 5 free sessions too.
No others. All right. So after today's presentation, we will take questions from the audience. Our questions typically range from about 30 seconds. But before we dive in, we want to give a special thanks and shout out to Allie, but Miss Alexandria Kessel, who sponsored our breakfast with the coffee and the donuts this morning. She is with Quality Comprehensive Health Center, which is located at 3607 Batesville Road. Thank you so much. And without further ado, we will pass this over to Ms. Daniel McNeil and Mr. Eugene Young of Arts Plus. Thank you so much for being here, and the floor is yours.
Thank you.
Hello.
It is on. I have to be smarter than the microphone. Good morning. I'm Delma McNeil, and I am the President and Executive Director of Arts Plus, formerly Community School of the Arts. If you've been in Charlotte for a while and familiar with the organization that has been around since 1969, providing accessible arts education to all of Charlotte. So Eugene wanted to introduce themselves, and what we want to do is talk to you, show you a video, and then we're going to talk to you about an exciting project that we have, and that we are in a 80-year lease with the Presbytery for the piece of property a mile down the road, the Plaza Presbyterian Church, and we want to share the vision for what we want that to be an asset to the community and for us as well. So I'll let you go, and we'll watch the video.
Yeah, good morning, all. Eugene Young. I'll introduce myself to everyone. I've spoken to a few of you. Great to be here this morning. I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida. My father was in the military, so we moved around quite a bit. But then middle school on to high school was in Jacksonville. What's in the ground for me, one of the reasons why I love the arts, I grew up in St. Stephen's AME Church. My mom was a Sunday school teacher. My grandmother was a Sunday school teacher. My grandfather was in the men's choir and on the usher board. So they looked at me when I was very young and said, "You're going to do something. You're not going to sit on the pew next to me." And so that kind of started my love for the arts, because I was exposed to being in the choir, plays, oratorical contests, all of those things that were part of our vibrant community, Black history programs, all of the things, the vacation Bible school. So that was the initial exposure to arts. I'll tell you also in my day job, I've been in financial services for about almost 2 decades. Now, my wife and I have been here in Charlotte for 11 years. So at this point, I would consider myself a Charlottean. And we moved around a little bit, but we love Charlotte. My wife's a teacher in CMS. My children are, my oldest is in a CMS school. My youngest is not old enough to be in school, but will be. So we're a big part, love Charlotte. Big part of doing what we can in the community. So happy to be here and share the vision of the Arts Plus campus with all of you.
Jerry.
Arts employees work for the department and serve thousands of programs.
Yeah, mute this.
Every program of Arts is designed and has to be
So, I'm sorry about the volume. I hope you were able to.
Microphone.
Oh, yes, we have a
Sorry about that. I hope you're able to hear some of the video. Got it. Okay. So just a little bit of a backstory. Arts Plus was founded in 1969 by Henry Bridges, the First Presbyterian Church in Uptown Charlotte. And he was the choir director and the organist, and he was surrounded in the church with 15 pianos in an urban environment, understanding that people in the community could not afford music lessons. And so he went to Woody Robinson, I think was the pastor at the time, and got permission to start this nonprofit community school of the arts, and was partnered with CMS. And from 150 applicants, they chose 20 students for its inaugural year in 1969, and they met every day after school, and it was music lessons, and it was meal, and it was homework, and it was sightseeing. It was everything that you would imagine it to be. And the quality of the instruction was such that people recognized it and said, I want this for my kids, and I will pay for it. And that set up the revenue model for the revenue to then fund the outreach into the community. So from those 20 students and 4 instructors, we've grown to contracting with over 16 instructors, and we serve close to 5,000 students a year, of which 60% or more receive their instruction free at a reduced cost. So we are everywhere in the community. We were housed at First Pres, and then we went to Spirit Square. We were an inaugural tenant at Spirit Square, and knowing that always a home, we needed a home. We've always been nomadic, and so we've been on the search. I've been in the organization for 12 and a half years, and we've been in a search for 12 and a half years. You know, understanding if you know what is going on with Spirit Square right now, it's not there. So we knew that we had to find a permanent home for us, and we've been down many roads and many journeys to find it. And in 2022, the church down the street was closing, and they put together a committee and to see who could and what could activate this space. And they put out a request for proposals that we answered in 2022. There were a lot of organizations that answered it and wanted to be able to use parts and pieces of the grounds, but we came forward and they asked us if we would consider being the master leaseholder of the campus, and that was a new, different conversation for us because we were looking for ourselves a home, and we would have never taken on this large of a project just for our own edification, because, you know, when it's all said and done, it's going to be 42,000 square feet of space. But we also knew that the city had just finished its a cultural vision plan, and we knew that the needs in the community for not only community space, but for artists to be able to perform artists to have spaces to exhibit their work, is it's just such a great need. And so that's why it's the community campus, because it will far exceed beyond us, just what we do. So the goal is you just mentioned we're in a $60 million campaign, and we've raised about 10.6 of that. We need to be at 14 million before we can start construction, and the goal is we'll start construction in August of next year. We'll have a 12-month build out, and then when we reopen it, it will be much like you see on the screen today. The connector piece of it is, look at that. Okay. The connector piece of it will link all three buildings, every floor, and it will provide an entryway in a safe place for our students to come in, but it will also provide ADA accessibility. There's no elevators in any of the buildings, so it will bring elevators and make access to every single floor, to every single building. And then, as mentioned, we'll take the sanctuary and it will be turned into a 250-seat performance space for artists to use, much like you just saw on the screen, for artists to have access to be able to use, because spaces for artists to show their work and to perform in Charlotte are hard to find, and hard to find inexpensively. So it's a little fun that we started in a Presbyterian church, and that we are, our future home is going to be in the Presbyterian church. I give all credit to the Presbytery, because we are in a 50-year lease with them for $1 a year with 3 10-year extensions. So, and for all intents and purposes, we are there for the next 80 years for $80. We have prepaid that first $50, so we're at least good for the next 50 years. But our commitment back to the Presbytery was to make the capital investments into the building, to build the new connector, and to show a lot of love on the 3 buildings who need a little bit of love in them. So it will serve our needs, and it will serve the needs of the community. I think I mentioned there were like 10 or 12 people who were interested in using this space. Hannah Hassan was one of them. She's actually renting a studio from us right now. We reached out to every single one of those organizations and said, when we are built, there will be a place for you to come and you know, they wanted to be able to use a room for this or do something here, but that is the goal. So there will be a place for them to come back and use the space as well.
Yeah. So I think you can start to see the vision. I'll tell you, you know, also behind the scenes, one of the things we wanted to make sure, in addition to, like, it's a community campus, not just Arts Plus. We're working with other artists, we're working with other organizations. They're able to use the space and utilize that space at a nominal fee that can be accessible for the nonprofit community, for artists. What's amazing to me is how, from the time we've been in the building, we've already had artists in the building. There are already artists there. We're not waiting until the building's perfectly constructed to activate the campus. The campus has been activated. You'll notice we've had events there already, multiple events in the sanctuary. Artists have rented space from us. We've had exhibits there. And that's just from framework bones that are there already without the additions to it. It's gonna be even bigger and better once we actually have the construction completed. The other aspect of it is from an Arts Plus perspective, because we were nomadic and because we're hub and spoke, many of our programs couldn't fully service as many children as we actually had the capacity to service. But with the campus now, we've already been able to open up our camps to even more children. We've been able to have all of our instruments in the same place, all of our equipment in the same place. The children can come to the same facility on an ongoing basis to have their lesson. You know, you could just imagine trying to carry, you know, a cello or some of the other larger instruments every week to a location, and then the instructor having to go upstairs and different places and think about where they're going to store these things. Whereas now we can have all of those things in one place at one location. And so that's one of the beauties of having this space, and for it to be activated. And like I said, be a part of the community. That is a key part of this, is that it's not just Arts Plus, it's about the community, and the community being a part of the campus, and it's one thing and not multiple things, so just one organization.
I think it's important to note as well, we've always considered ourselves, we've always talked to us about ourselves in the terms of hub and spoke, that we have a hub, but we are spoked out into all areas of the community. And we will continue to do that. We take our programming into every part of the community through partnerships and outreach. That will continue to do that. We're not assuming that this is going to, you're not going to drive 45 minutes for your 30-minute violin lesson for your kids. So we will always have those partnerships and relationships for not only our programs, but for our partnership programs as well. This will just give us a bigger hub from which to work out of. An example Eugene just mentioned about storage, for the past 50 years, every time we do summer camps, we do them somewhere else, and we have to go to a storage unit every week, and we have to take everything out of a storage unit, put it in the back of somebody's van, and take it over there. And so what this just is going to allow us the freedom to do around summer camps. Last year, we were able to hold some on the campus, and we doubled our enrollment from 350 students to over 600 students this past year. So it is going to allow us to grow exponentially within the community, but it's also going to allow artists to grow exponentially to be able to have those access. Like Eugene mentioned, before we sign the lease, we have people knocking on the door, and we've not said a word to anybody, and people just reaching out. Can we use the sanctuary for this? Can we use this building for that? And of course, we are yes people, so we just say yes, you can, and this is as is. So we're really excited for its future of what it's going to look like and how it's going to impact the community.
I also think, one of the, again, kind of behind the scenes infrastructure, what we thought about, was just the sustainability. And how does that look going forward? That is part of why there's a nominal fee, but also as part of the campaign, making sure that part of those funds continue to sustain the campus going forward. And so that has been thought of as well. What does it take to successfully run the facility? What do we need in place? And we do have a strategic plan, a business plan in place, and have put that infrastructure there to make sure we don't just occupy the building for some years and then are in trouble, that we can sustain this once we're there. And that was really important to many of us in being a part of seeding the vision as well.
And to that point, it will come automatically with over $200,000 a year cost savings for us, because that's what we incur in some of the rent around us locally. So it comes with a cost savings for us, understanding that will have its own set of issues and cost as well. But it will be money saving for us. And to Eugene's point, with the business plan, we do know that it's sustainable. When we were putting the capital campaign committee together, some of the people you saw on the video is like, okay, yes, but what's the plan going to be? Before I sign on, I want to know that about its sustainability. So we truly do have a business plan that we can show, and yes, and this is how it's going to pay for itself along the way. So we are beyond thrilled to have a home and to be in this neighborhood, and I think the neighbors are excited to have us there. I think they saw what could have been if the property had been sold, and so I give all credit to the presbytery for having the desire to want to keep it intact, and to having the will and the desire to really look at it as our permanent home for the next 80 years. What questions do you guys have?
Oh, yeah, right.
Now we open up for questions, and they will call on the people.
Oh, no. No, well, hold on. Well, before we get to the questions, one thing that was brought to my attention yesterday, I do want to recognize some of those who did work for the Community School of the Arts and also worked for Arts Plus in the past. So if you have worked for the Community School of the Arts or have worked for Arts Plus in the past on their board, would you please stand? You'll raise your hand. Go ahead. Or if you've had children go through the Arts Plus program, that would count as well. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Ma'am. So again, very profound effect. Thank you, sir, for your service.
I was one of the students when I was at Johnson C. Smith in 1969. Jacqueline Harrison asked to come.
Oh. We're streaming live, that's why you're on the mic. It's not really for this room, it's for the people at home.
See, I'm in my 70s and I thought I had the mic already. But in 1969, Jacqueline Harrison, who was my teacher at Smith, asked if I would come and volunteer at the Community School of the Arts. Jacqueline Harrison, a few years later, was Charlotte's Woman of the Year. It was the first time a Black person was Woman of the Year. And so I was a student volunteer. And after going to Manhattan School of Music, coming back to Charlotte, I taught piano, voice, woodwinds, and brass. I worked very closely with Henry Bridges. He treated me as a professional, and we did a lot together for several years during my New Year's Eve shows. I would invite students from Community School of the Arts to come and perform with me. This organization is an organization that is community focused, and I just wanted to just say it's a blessing that we are continuing the spirit of Henry Bridges and Jacqueline Harrison, that we have something that began years ago that continues today, and I'm so thankful.
That's a really great point. You know, I tell people that the Henry Bridges mission and vision is the same mission and vision that guides the organization today. The semantics may have changed a little bit, but it's all about accessible arts education. And to the point, we had 4 instructors that started with Henry. One of them, Zebras Brahmanas, just retired last year. She was 95 when she retired. And she had worked her entire career with us. And we've had a testimony to just the strength of the organization. Many of our instructors, like Zebra, have been with us for decades and just are really committed to the mission and vision.
Good morning. My name is Jasmine. I am a local community organizer. I came in late, so I might have missed this walking in, but what's the process or what does it look like for outside organizations or nonprofits? I work with a group called North Carolina Black Alliance, and I'm thinking we would love to connect the arts to a lot of the work we do. So what is the process for organizations to work or partner with you all and take advantage of this space that you all are providing as well?
Sure. Right now, a lot of people are finding us, and we are making it available, like I said, as is. For right now, understanding that in August of next year, we will shut down and do construction for a year. But we already, like I mentioned, the organizations that have reached out to us, we have a running list of people who are interested in space. And if we can accommodate it now during your time frame, then you're welcome to come in and use the space. But we are also, like I said, keeping track of it so we will have a running list of people that we know are interested and how they may be interested going forward.
Good morning. Congratulations on it all. And I'm looking at this fancy rendering right here. You know, I'm so curious to learn more about the process with the church. Was the 50-year term for the lease after negotiations, or did you propose something longer or shorter? And does the $16 million capital campaign include, like community all hands on deck, things that are donated, from services that go on with construction, or is that all a part of the dollars you need to contract the work out?
First question was about,
What's about? The 50 years.
oh yeah, 50 years.
Yeah.
So we started negotiating with the Presbytery, and we had asked for a 100-year lease. We had gone through some negotiations. This was our second iteration or third iteration on trying to find a space, and had gone down some routes before that didn't work out. So we had asked for a 100-year lease, and they came back with the 50 with the 3 10-year extensions, and we thought that that was them trying to honor the spirit of what we were asking for. So that's how that came to be. The 16 million is real dollars right now for, and Eugene just put up, we want 13.5 for construction, understanding that a lot of the construction, that who we work with our architect and our general contractor, they value engineer a lot of this with donated services and donated things as well. But the real cost is 13.5 for construction. And then as mentioned, we want to be able to put more into an endowment that will help ensure its success going forward.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I guess,
Miss Jackie.
oh yeah, I'm sorry, Ms. Jackie, I'm about to go ahead and supersede. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
And that would have been fun. Good morning. My son went through, had some contact with you, with the Clara Jones, summer program. And that's where he discovered that he didn't make a good violin sound. So he chose another instrument. But I want to say, it is so fitting, I think, that you're at Plaza, because John Tate, who was a longtime pastor there, and so involved in this community. And, he was just so great for children and education. My question is that, and I may have missed this, will there be opportunities like for pop-up performances like what you see sometimes at Baker Center?
Yes, absolutely. I would tell you, of the construction costs, a lot of that is going into the performance center, which would be the sanctuary. And the whole point of us setting that sanctuary up in the way that we are as a performance center is for that exact reason, so that you do have a pop-up space, because it, just in case, as you notice, Charlotte has grown a lot. And it can be really challenging for artists who aren't established to find a place to perform if you aren't on that certain tier, especially at a reduced cost, right? And so that's part of the benefits of us having the space, and then also us investing significantly in the performance aspect of this space. So the answer is absolutely yes.
And I want to mention that we're not a huge organization. We're still small and scrappy, I think, even though we're taking on this big community project. So much to the chagrin of my program people, we always start from the attitude of yes, let's figure it out. So and that's why we have something going on there all the time, pretty much 7 days a week. We had a group before we signed the lease want to rent the entire building called Activation Studios, and they're subleasing that out to artists, and then we have artists who are renting the preschool rooms, and so the place is full of activity right now. And we're only doing like 2 classrooms of our own programming, and the community has come and used the rest. And an example of that, I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but we had this group who was in one of the buildings, and they asked if they could do something in the fellowship hall. And the name of the organization was Chromatic Roots. It was three guys that worked together. And they turned the fellowship hall. It took them probably about 3 or 4 months into this immersive experience. Jory, you walked in, you didn't know what you were walking to. You walked in like the set of Stranger Things or whatever. So you were walking through this experience, and they opened that up. They had over 2,000 people come through that in just the 6 weeks that it was open. And they wouldn't have been able to do it, but they just asked the question, to your point, they just asked the question, can we use the space? We're not using the space. it's a fellowship hall. He knows what fellowship halls look like, there's can be. And so we said, sure, use the space. And so we are nimble in that way. And even though we will have this facility, we will continue to remain nimble for the community.
All right. Before I get to the question, shameless plug, I serve on the city's UDO zoning board, and I did not realize when we approved that variance for that church, it was for this program. It's awesome. When I was a jit growing up in this community, I remember there was a program called Spectrum of the Arts that I went through in the 5th and 6th grade. It was a program where you had to be nominated by a teacher at your school in the elementary, where it was music, performing arts, music by playing an instrument or singing. I was nominated for singing. Do you have a program that's similar in nature to that, where you work with CMS schools to have kids nominated to go through a summer program at your facility?
We work with CMS in a couple different ways. We have one program with CMS students is called Studio 345, and it is funded by the county, and we're in its 13th year. And it is a free after-school program to any high school student in Mecklenburg County. After school, they come in and they have, it's all digital media, and it's an experience for them to have through their whole high school years, and it's completely free. So we have that. We work with CMS in a lot of different ways through professional development for their teachers. A lot of our students are from CMS, and we have a robust financial aid program. And so you don't have to be nominated to attend, you just can show up and attend. And your son's squeaky violin, we can read them. Amazing violin player. So, and it's also worth mentioning that we do serve students of all ages, from preschool to older adults. We have adults who are taking cello lessons right now and piano lessons. But to your point, we do offer those opportunities, but it's on a non-nomination basis. You can just, we find you or you find us, and you have access.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Arlethea Hailstock, and I'm the Community Impact Manager at Blumenthal Arts. So I'm very excited to hear all of this wonderful information. My question for you is about how your sanctuary, once that performance space is outfitted the way that you have currently planned it, what the tech abilities will be. Will it be able to kind of fill the gaps left by Duke Energy and the McGlowan in Spirit Square? Will theater companies be able to come in and use it in all of the same ways they could use those spaces?
I would say yes and no to a point. So when the architects were designing the space, we wanted them to understand that we needed it to be a space to where groups and performance groups and other groups could come in and use it. We're not designing the space for it to be to load in sets and load out sets and to have plays there for weeks at a time. That takes away from the access to the community and from our needs as well. So it's to the point that, you can do some of that, but it's not completely designed, I think, in what you're asking for, to somebody to come in and do like a 3-week run or something like that. But we've had like Carolina Voices came in for a week and did something. Gay Men's Chorus came in for a week and did something. So more along that scale.
The small and scrappy.
Good morning. My name is Samir Hamid. I've been an entrepreneur in Charlotte for 14 years, specifically in the creative community here. We used to do music festivals, and one big issue that we had was that the venues in Charlotte are like racist. They don't like black audiences. It makes it extremely difficult to book shows. Like we would have to lie about hip hop shows saying they're multi-genre just to be able to get access to certain venues. And that was, Chop Shop days, Tremont Hall days. So a lot of those are gone. I know that this isn't necessarily the primary, use for those workshop rooms, or what you call them, but is there going to be any effort internally to make sure that the artists that come through the program have a creative ecosystem to enter into, or, we'll be hyper-focused on just, making them more creative?
No, You know, the way it's morphed in now to what's going on now is they have created a community. The artists have created a community there amongst themselves. So I think that will happen organically anyway. But yeah, I mean, just providing what we can for them to have what they need to be able to do the work, be creative, and have opportunities to show the work. And I hate to hear that those racist organizations, that's kind of troubling, but not surprised. But I don't think you'll find that with what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's right. I think that to Devin's point, infrastructure will be there, the opportunity for the community to be there on an ongoing basis. I think those things are there. Those things are there, and those things will be available. You wouldn't have to say, hey, this is multi-genre in order to book a room. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
Good morning. Thanks for being here. My name is Cedric, and I appreciate all you're doing. I came in late. I apologize. Will the slides be available for individuals? Great.
Yeah, I can email them to who needs to get them pushed out.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Kimberly Owens, Charlotte City Council District 6. I was late, but I was listening in the car, so this may have been addressed on the video, but I couldn't hear the audio over the transmission. Quick question for you. We no longer have a juvenile detention facility, but if we are successful as the county and the sheriff try to work together to bring that back, is there any appetite to really bring some of that programming on site into that detention facility? I think as a community, we are facing a lot of juvenile crime and juvenile recidivism, and having outlets for creative energies, I feel may be very helpful. Have you done that in the past when we did have that facility, or do you have some experience with dealing with kids who are feeling some kind of way about what's going on in their world?
Sure. When we partner with organizations, we just don't come in and say, we're going to do this for your community. We actually partner with organizations and say, what are you doing and what would you like to achieve and what do you want to see? An example is that we partnered with First Baptist Church West years ago on their gang alternative principles. And so we worked with them for over 2 years coming in when they met on a Saturday, because they were having all these different workshops that they went through during the day. And she said, but they need an artistic outlet as well. And so we worked with her and said, what do you want to achieve? Our artists worked with the students and said, you know, how do you see yourself? How do you think people see yourself? How do you want to be seen? And so we have worked with that in the past. And again, just want to iterate that we're just not pulling something off the shelf to bring to you to do, that we really want to work with the organization to help further what their mission and what they're trying to do as well.
That's right. Accessibility is a key part. And one of the slides you'll see when it's shared, as we've gone through strategic planning, certainly facility was a part of that, but underneath everything is equity. And a big part of that is accessibility, right? And so what you're describing sounds to me like hey, let's make sure this is accessible to a variety of audiences. And so the answer, like Devin said, we try to probably start with a yes, let's see how we can directly cater something to your needs, and not just pull something off the shelf.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Darnell Ivory. Mine is a selfish question. I came in late, but I played E-flat alto saxophone from Biddleville Elementary School, Northwest Junior High, the West Charlotte Mighty Marching Lions, and to Spelman College. I just got my saxophone serviced. I'm ready to play again. Now, I know you said you work with you, and I said I need to find some place where I can go with the group, because I pulled it out, played my measures, and I was out of breath after the third measure. So I've got to get back in condition. Do you have anybody over there at your place who has I'm 74, but I would love to get that instrument again and get going again.
Absolutely. Yeah, so again, we offer our instruction and our programs are available from preschool to older adults. We have people who are taking piano lessons and cello lessons. Adrian Crutchfield came through our program. He's a saxophonist, so he might be a resource to you. And his instructor, James Curry, is still teaching for us over at First Baptist Church West as well, and he teaches all of our horns. So I got you set up.
I played the flute.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. You know, you guys could form your own band.
Seriously, yeah, adult programming has become a really popular thing the last few years, right? I think a lot more people are finding, with all of the crazy in the world, it's nice to have an outlet, and it's nice to have arts as an outlet to go to. So again, we probably start with a yes, likely, and try to find where you fit specifically.
Good morning, Carrie Nelson. It may have been on one of the slides, but will you be holding summer camps next summer? And how do people find out about that and enroll?
You know, that's an excellent question because we just opened up all of our summer camps just last week. So we will be holding summer camps on site again this next summer. We will not be able to the following summer because we'll be shut down in construction, although we will still be doing them, we'll just be doing them at other locations. So the first, if you go to our website, artsplus.org, at the very top it says register for summer camps, and you can go and have 25, 30 different camps to choose from, many of which will be held at the location here.
And I think one of the beauty about the camps is there are longer camps, but there's some camps that are just 1 week. And they're 1 week and they're different experiences. So even if you participated 1 week and it was discovering music, the next one could be discovering visual arts. And so there's a variety of opportunities for youth to plug in where they and have an experience across different across the arts. Yeah, speaking from experience, my son has been a part of the summer camps and also the teacher workday camps as well.
Good morning. My name is Michelle Harbin, and I am the owner and co-founder of the Queen City Culture Film Festival here in Charlotte. This will be our second year next year, and we sold out this year. Yes, I'm very proud of that. So my question is, under your current programs of visual arts, will you have any type of workshops or programs centering around film, screenwriting, things of that nature? Because that's the field that I'm in.
We have that now, but it's wrapped up in Studio 345, which is the high school program, the free after-school high program. So we don't have anything specific to that right now. I always also like to say we try to stay in our lane as well. So, you know, people say, are you going to do clay? And we say, no, there's clay works. Or are you going to do dance? No, there's a ballet. So we try to stay in our lane on things like that. I'm not sure if the Light Factory would be a resource in that or not, but it is not something that we have investigated yet. Doesn't mean we wouldn't. If there's a need for it and a desire for it, then we can, you know, have a conversation.
Good morning. My name is Gerald Patton. I have a two-part question. First question is, what are the plans during the build-out to continue with programming? Do you plan to, as you mentioned before, hub and spoke, do you plan to be at different locations throughout the city while the build-out is going on? And the second part of the question, if you have or know of someone that's musically inclined, are there volunteer opportunities for them to come to the facility and act as an instructor, mentor kids, things of that nature?
Absolutely. So again, we will take, when we are down for construction, we will take the part that we are doing out into the community and back to where we have taken it before. Even though the campus is being fully utilized right now, we are utilizing 2 rooms of it, and the community is utilizing everything else. So it will be easy for us to take what we're already doing back out into the community, and we're already having conversations with organizations and churches around as to where we can take it and keep it within this location as well. We also have, we've been a tenant at Trinity right down the street on the Plaza for years and years and years, so we'll continue to do that. We would love to have you musically inclined. There are a lot of opportunities, especially around internships, especially around summer camps that we have for somebody who would want to come in and either volunteer or learn. And if they are teaching, we're always looking for teaching artists as well who can come in. We have a lot of demand for like piano and violin that we can't fulfill because we don't have enough instructors with enough hours. So we're always looking for instructors as well.
Good morning, Dr. Blanche Penn here. As a UNC graduate in the theaters and the arts, it's very interesting to hear about your programs. And we did a summer camp with the band and music and the whole 9 yards. But I would like to hear a little bit, well, I guess it's very interesting. I haven't really never heard about this organization, and it's always good when I find out things here. But who's on your boards, and do you have a board, and what type of board do you have, and how do people apply for those particular areas, and then with the organizations too? Thank you.
Yeah, I can definitely take that one. I've been on the Arts Plus board. I know if Linda watched this, I'm not even gonna say how many years. More than 4, I think 5.
We don't let people know because we just want to keep them on the board, so we just never let them know what their terms are.
So yeah, that, and I'm sure I have several more to go. But yeah, we are always looking for board members. We're happy to welcome folks to the board. So that's just a matter of, similar to other items. If you reach out to us, contact us via the website and say, hey, I'm interested in being a board member, or talk to us after this program. Happy to invite you to a meeting, invite you to an event, and if it continues to interest you, yeah, happy to figure out the path to get you to the board. Who's on our board? We have a variety of folks on the board. There are people from the corporate community like myself. There are people who are just engaged in community who are a part of the board. We have certainly former parents, former students as part of the board, entrepreneurs on the board, artists on the board. There are certainly committees that you can engage in, even if you said, hey, I'm not ready for a board commitment, but I want to be a part of a committee. We have multiple committees for specialty events. We have, of course, the traditional, finance, philanthropy, governance committees as well. So it really just kind of depends on how you want to get engaged, how much you want to be engaged, but would love to continue that conversation. I'll also share my own experience. I came to Arts Plus through the Arts and Science Council Charlotte Leadership Program. I was initially I thought I was going to go to a museum, but I had someone from Leaders Under 40 class who said, you really should check out Arts Plus. And I went to a meeting and I was hooked. I love the mission, love the people. I love working with Devlin and Stephanie and the staff. They're amazing as leaders and as directors of Arts Plus, but also that mission to make arts accessible. We need outlets, especially in our communities that don't always get the same access to arts education. We need that. We need alternatives from the ones we have been given in the past. And so that, for me, was the linchpin for why I'm here. I've been, like I said, I've been on board multiple years. I've been treasurer, board chair, Now I'm former board chair, part of multiple committees. So yeah, again, just happy to continue the conversation wherever you want to take that.
We also have a caveat that you can't leave the board until you find your replacement.
Good morning, I'm Laura Cooper, and I am very concerned about the funding of our public schools. We see them don't even have a budget. There may not even be enough money to fund them at the current level in the coming year. Given that, what is Arts Plus, or maybe there's a coalition of our community arts groups? I'm simply unaware of that. Are you in conversation with CMS about how you might continue to provide services to students? I've been an educator for decades. I know the arts are one of the first things that go when you have no money. I just wonder where those conversations are and if you're anticipating some of that.
I will tell you, having been at the organization for 12 and a half years, but then at another organization, I've been in the nonprofit space for like 25 years. And I can tell you that this past year or so has been the easiest, I want to say, has been the most refreshing in being able to work with CMS around arts education. And there's a guy named Justin Pierce who works with all the cultural organizations to try to make us available to his students. The Arts and Science Council is filling the gap with some funding to organizations to work specifically with CMS students. Yeah, we're very familiar with funding and the arts, and you know that is another reason why we partner with other organizations. I mean, most of what we do is partnered with another organization. An example is Project Harmony, which we've been partnering with the Symphony for the past 6 years, which brings orchestra programs into certain areas. So very aware of it, very trying to, but I again, will say I'm encouraged by being able to work with CMS this year, and they're focused on really trying to figure out how to best utilize the partner organizations, the cultural organizations for their students.
Good morning. Good morning, thank you for coming. My question is there any programs or resources for, I guess, lower income children to take advantage of before they have to go to the detention centers? Any programs?
Yeah, I mean, all of our classes and workshops and lessons, we have a very high financial aid program. And again, you know, more than 60% of our students receive their instruction free or reduced cost. It's a simple application form for financial aid. But then we also have just a lot of partners to where we take the program in, and that's at no cost as well. So yes.
So yeah, so the programming, for some programming, we go into the schools, right? And then any programming we have at any of our hubs, that's traditionally available, and it's just a matter of, you know, the parent saying, hey, I need assistance in order to attend. So yeah, that's available as well.
Good morning. My name is April Benson, and I have grandkids, and I have no intentions on doing grandmother duties this summer. So, what is your ratio of students? I don't want to go into specifics, but like, what are your ratio of more, how to say this? What is your ratio of students? I mean, I know it's pretty much of all ages, but do we have, like, Ms. Robinson stole my question, but you know, how we can as a community, because most of us are communities, to help get more young people that that may be in, because I've never heard of this. I mean, I used to live right there by the Plaza and Country Club and didn't know it was there. So you are putting it more out into the community and low-income families, so they have an opportunity. That's what I mean with the ratio.
So, yes, to answer your question, and You know, we went through a big rebrand when our 50th anniversary, because we were a community school of the arts since 1969. People knew us as community school of the arts and was very familiar with that organization. And our 50th anniversary, we rebranded to Arts Plus. It was just a timely time to rebrand in the 50th. We also happened to do it right as COVID was happening. So we did the rebrand and then everything was shut down. So we sort of lost momentum on the, people understanding that community school of the arts is now Arts Plus. So a lot of who finds us is word of mouth, but we also go into the schools. We send flyers through Peach Jar, through all the schools. We also try to hook up with neighborhood associations to get the word out of what our programs are and what's available and accessible.
Good morning. I am Johnson Mental Health America. Do you have programming that integrates with mental health organizations? We know that arts and mental health can be very closely connected. So I'm just wondering, do you partner with mental health organizations, or do you specifically have programming that addresses that?
We do not have specific programming that addresses that, and we have not specifically partnered with mental health organizations. Not that we're opposed to it, but it would be a conversation with the organization and then finding the instructor, because finding the instructor to be able to work with the organization. So nothing current now, but not opposed to having that conversation.
Robert Collins. My question is, I heard you mention a couple of times about having people to teach. What is the requirement to be a teacher, to be an instructor, for someone that may be online, or someone in here that may have a child that plays an instrument but is not really using their talent but could be?
So most of I would say the majority of our instructors around music have a degree, have gone to school for music as well, and most of our visual art instructors have visual art degrees as well. Not that that's a requirement, but it really is just, if you've taught in the past, have you taught, can you teach, are you comfortable with different ages of students, and different students from all different backgrounds as well. So it would be a conversation that you would have with our director of our music program or visual art program. And we are always needing instructors.
Again, good morning. If I'm not mistaken, I believe you said you look to begin the construction process August of 27, right? 26. Would that make spring 27?
Yeah.
Ribbon cutting?
Ideally, so if we start, no, probably not spring, probably fall, because it'll be a 12-month build out. And then all this is happening in a perfect world, right? So in a perfect world, we start in August, and then we finished in August of 27. So we're really probably looking at towards the end of the year, spring of 28 for
construction. I know. So when you open in 2045,
I'll be retired.
My question is, the way the world is trending, is there a plan for Arts Plus to respond to what creativity seems to, I guess, the trajectory of it today with AI, with computer generated? What is creativity in today's world, and how would that adjust your standards?
That's been a big conversation for the past 3 or 4 years, especially during COVID, and we have a program committee that really takes this on as well, because how is the 21st century learner learning? How does that change over time? So we have a program committee that addresses that, and what are the trends, and what is needed, and what does the community want. We did a market analysis probably a couple of years ago, and what does the community want, what does the community need, and trying to find that out and responding to it.
It's been a big topic of conversation too in a couple of retreats that we've had, specifically talking about like digital assets, making art, but then making sure you can still market that art in a way that you retain the rights to it in a world where everything is digital. So the answer is yes, we've been talking about that quite a bit. I'm sure that discussion will continue to evolve. We do, as Devlin said, have a program committee, and even within that program committee, we specifically have talked about like digital both in terms of learning, but also in terms of the artists and how you project yourself.
Carrie Nelson again. You mentioned clayworks and pottery. As one who has taken classes at clayworks, they are always oversubscribed. So if you would reconsider adding that to your programs, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, we hear that, we do hear that a lot. It is a clay studio is a completely different type of build out and requires its own completely different types of resources. So we're not opposed to maybe having, a small wheel or a workshop around it, but probably not going down the full pottery realm. Sorry.
All right. Obviously, and it's been alluded to already, the climate that we're currently in, politically, socially, economically, your budget is stringent, but is there ever an opportunity where you use some of your funds to underfund, serve organization in the community where you're funding a program they might be doing directly, or it's a MOU partnership where you're providing the funding to launch the program in the community?
A lot of that happens through, are we directly funding other organizations? We usually do that through partnerships. We will come in and provide instructors and resources. It's usually through a partnership. And that is our Arts Reach program, and we find funding for that. That is, we raise money every year specifically to go out and do that.
So it's kind of like in-kind services.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and there are other organizations, because the cultural community, one of the things I see that's different from a lot of cities is you have a cultural community where the organizations, like she mentioned, Clayworks and some of the other places, the ballet, we have conversation. Oftentimes we come together through the Arts and Science Council, and that may be a place where if you start there, they'll help you facilitate to the right organization to get that funding that will fund programs that are already happening. They just need funding for capacity or for reach.
All right, are there one more question in the back, Robert?
My question is about the Arts and Science Council venue access grants. Will those grants be available to individual artists or smaller organizations to be able to use, to utilize the spaces at Arts Plus?
We've been having that conversation with Adam and Micah, and yes, it will, just not now. We know that we won't be able to enter into that conversation truly until we're up and running and fully fit.
Hi, Michelle Hartman here, Queen City Culture Film Festival. I just want to make an announcement that I received a partial grant from the Arts Science Council. And because of that, excuse me, the Queen City Culture Film Festival is free. So I need everyone to come out next year and show your support. Thank you.
Hello, Trey Richard. Do you all have a economic piece to your program where you teach students how to monetize their talents and maybe like marketing strategies as well?
We do. We partner with Do Greater throughout the year as well. We have for the past couple of years, specifically on entrepreneurship. And a big component of Studio 345, where we reach 200 high school students a year, is that is part of it too. Yes, they're learning singer-songwriter, and yes, they're learning different things, but then how do we take them out into the community and to organizations to say, and this is how you can make a living from it, and not just learning the skill, but this is how you can take it forward.
Thank you for being here. I'd also like to mention that Sarah Stevenson and I were a part of the community choir that he formed. It's the only art I have ever done. But I'd like to ask you, you're called Arts Plus. What's the plus?
That's interesting. That was a great question. So we, when we went through the rebrand, that was a big question. What is the plus for? So really what we're trying to describe is that arts is not just for art's sake. Arts is plus arts education, is plus learning skills in math and science, is plus social capital. So it's plus much more than just arts for art's sake.
Steve Johnston, you may have gotten the impression already that the room is full of people running nonprofits who are barely scraping by. And so on behalf of them, I will ask, where is that 16 million?
That's a good question. So of the 16, and we need 14 to start construction. Of the 16, we've raised 10.6. The county was first out of the gate with a $3 million capital campaign commitment a couple years ago. They have funded Studio 345 since its inception, and so and then we have gone. First, we went to all the people. We are a 56-year-old organization with strong and healthy organization with strong ties in the community. So we went to our friends and families and those who love us to get money, and then we are now at the stage where we are doing foundations. We received a grant from the C.P. Spangler Foundation. We've got a grant into Levine and Knight and other national foundations. So really it's individuals and foundations at this point. Banks are just sort of tough to corporate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we're getting at.
I have another question. It just came to me. One of my experiences in college was working out in the community. It had a great impact on me. Colleges like Johnson C. Smith, University of North Carolina, Charlotte, Queens College, those institutions, are you paired with them, with the students who may be majoring in the arts?
They are a good resource for us for instructors and for interns. So we do have relationships with the surrounding organizations. In fact, we have a UNCC intern starting in the spring. So we do communicate with them regularly because especially with the music, they're a really good resource for instructors.
And there have been a number of instructors and a couple of directors who teach in the community at the university. As long as I've been associated with Arts Plus, they've always had an intern over the summer. So yeah, that's a wonderful aspect of showing that, hey, if the arts, there's possibility for a career. It's not just a hobby. It can be, but it can be more than that.
All right. Well, give them another round of applause. All right. Vigorous conversation. Starting with announcements. Mr. Winston Robinson.
This announcement comes on behalf of Faith Triggs of Habitat Charlotte. Condolences to the family of Connie Oliphant, who passed away over the weekend. She was instrumental in evolutionary aquatics and getting Black people to learn to swim. Her services will be held this Saturday, December 11th. Visitation services are at noon at Alexander Funeral Home on Statesville Road.
Good morning, Ricky Robbins, candidate for Sheriff Mecklenburg County. Just want to let everybody know that today I'll be officially filing at 4 p.m. at the Board of Elections, 741 Kenilworth Avenue. I appreciate your support and appreciate you coming out to support me as I continue this journey. Thank you.
So before she makes her announcement, everybody please, if you weren't paying attention, pay attention, because what she's about to say is very important. And she's also the one that provides us with our donuts and our coffee. So lock in to what she's saying.
No pressure. Good morning. I'm Allie Kessel with Quality Comprehensive Health Center. One thing I want us to keep in mind is as schools close for Christmas break, many of our children are losing their consistent source of food throughout the year. Quality has committed to feeding 100 children for the 2-week holiday break. However, we have 140 children on our waiting list right now, in addition to those 100 meals. And we are asking for food donations to help cover that gap so we can get those 140 students fed through the Christmas holiday. If there's anything you or an organization can do to help, please come see me after the forum.
Why don't we ask if anyone here would bring a food item next week to the party? We're having a party next week. Okay. Yeah, they
So
did that.
I'm gonna expound on that. This gentleman here is the head of the foundation, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is important to me. I have an affinity to helping out people that don't have the resources that a lot of us in this room have. And so we had a conversation prior to the meeting this morning. It takes about $45 to $50 to feed every one of these children. They have 140 kids on back order in a sense. If you can help, reach out to him, find a way to donate. If everybody can give something, something's better than nothing. Sometimes we say we don't have 50, but you have 5. So donate something if you can, if it's in your pocket. If you're gonna waste some money on buying some steak 48 later, buy a less price dish, give up $10 because your bill gonna be $250 anyway. You know, I'm just keeping it honest now. Let's help out somebody this Christmas that doesn't have it.
Go to Ruth Chris instead.
Coming around.
Good morning, once again, Arlethea Halestock, Blooming All Arts. I wanted to share information about a couple of scholarship opportunities. The first one is, there are 2 specifically. The first one is the Mary Doctor Fine Arts Scholarship. It is a $10,000 scholarship, renewable for up to 4 years for a total of $40,000. You do have to demonstrate financial need and a potential for a successful career in the arts. We are not looking specifically for performers, but you can be a performer. You do have to be accepted into a college or university with an established arts program and a plan to pursue a degree in performing or visual arts. Applications are open now, and they will be open until March 18th of 2026. So please forgive me, but I'm going to make that same announcement multiple times over the next couple of years. The second scholarship is the Gordon Hay Scholarship. This one is a non-traditional scholarship. It is $10,000 one-time award, and it is not for going to school or paying for your room and board, things like that, but instead this is for if you are already in school or going to school and you plan to go to like a conference, or you get an internship that's unpaid and you need help meeting your expenses during that internship time. So very non-traditional, but allows for those outside experiences that really enhance your education. Again, application is open through March of 2026. And it is merit-based, but we do take financial need into consideration. Thank you so much.
No, go ahead. No.
I got 2 more.
No. My mic off.
Are you gonna do
My mic off.
He passed it back to me. Wanted to just remind everyone, as you mentioned earlier, that next Tuesday we are having our Christmas party. So please come festively dressed. Also with a cash donation to put in our box to help support our coffee for 2026. And then also if you could bring that food donation to help support those 140 families. Thank you.
White elephant.
Oh, invite your rich friends? Okay, invite your rich friends. Oh yeah, and the white elephant. White elephant. Yeah, if you want to participate in the white elephant gift exchange, please bring a gift. I don't know. I think Winston set me up. He set me up. Okay. Wrap the gift.
This Saturday, December 13th, at Cedar Grove Cemetery, SaveCedarGrove.org, we will be honoring the veterans of Cedar Grove Cemetery with a wreath laying ceremony. Invite you all to attend 9 till noon, and then we'll be having a community meet and greet following the ceremony. Please come on out, December 13th. SaveCedarGrove.org.
And our new person has a message.
Hi, I'm Shatea from Sister Magazine, and this January we're doing the first printed Charlotte Black Women's Business Directory. So if you know a Black woman with a business, or you are a Black woman with a business, or you're an ally, you can list your business for as low as $49.99, and it'll be distributed across 100 Charlotte hotspot locations.
Thank you.
Good morning again. You're invited to 5 Points Plaza, Beattysport Road, Rosersbury Road, Trade Street. We're having you want to talk to Santa Claus about what you want for Christmas? Come on over. 2 to 6, they'll have train rides for the children, hot chocolate, a number of kids' games, activities from 2 to 6. It's free, and you'll see a most beautiful Christmas tree already there when you drive by at night. But please come out and support the 5 Points Plaza Collaborative, funded through Knight Foundation and grants by the city. 2 to 6, December 13th. All right? Thank you.
One more.
Is it the same Santa? Is it the same Santa from years back?
Possible, yes.
He could hit a mean Cupid shuffle too. That's important in the community.
Hello again, everyone. I just want to invite you all. The Queen City Culture Film Festival is hosting a Voices of Disability film showcase at Central Piedmont University, January 31st. The tickets are on their box office. Did I say that correctly? Yes. So I would like for you guys to support us and come out. If you know anyone that's disabled, or all the filmmakers are disabled filmmakers, and they're awesome films. So if you know anyone that's disabled, please bring them out. And disability is not always visible. Mental health is a part of disability as well. So please come out and support. January 31st, Central Piedmont University, uptown. Thank you.
Okay, hi y'all. I am Alexis King. I work for the North Carolina Association of Educators. Most of y'all have seen me in here a lot. So I just wanted to announce that we have started publicizing our statewide campaign. Sorry, I meant to say this is the Educators Union in North Carolina. And we have started a platform to tax these rich people, these billionaires, and help pay for our schools with that money. And we are starting off with getting people to get their communities to sign off that they support that platform with supporter cards. So I have a bunch on me. And if anyone is willing to just give a few of those out to their family and friends to start getting the ball rolling on our campaign, please come to me. And please return them to me as well. I'm here just about every week. I can't come next week though, unfortunately. I'll be in Raleigh. But yeah, hope to get to speak to a lot of you afterwards.
That's it. Well, again, thank you all for coming out. We want to say thank you once again to Arts Plus for being our guest today. But again, next week, please feel free to join us for our annual Christmas soiree.
There'll be breakfast served.
Yeah, there'll be breakfast served, full breakfast, special juices, the whole 9 yards. So come on out. Yeah, thank you for coming out. God bless you. Have a great day.
Find the committee for it. Find the committee for it. I got you. You said yes to everything. Find the committee for everything. Yes to a lot of
Oh, Yeah.